Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled, Beware of Foodie Call Dates Who Are Just in It for a Free Meal. And a big shout out to Mahesh in Mumbai, India for sending me this link to this article. It's a really good one, so I appreciate that. And guys, this article is basically all about how there are women out there that without a shadow of a doubt will use guys to take them out to get fancy dinners and get really good meals. Either women are kind of broke, they're in their early 20s, in their primes in terms of looks and attraction, and they know they can easily get guys, but they don't have a whole lot of money because they're fresh out of college or they have low-end jobs, but they know they can use their sexuality to find guys that are kind of lonely and maybe a little desperate and got money and will have no problem taking them out for a magical evening. And then the girl goes out, enjoys the drinks, enjoys the food, and then that's it. She never talks to the guy again. And I'm doing this because it happens, okay? When I was younger, in my early 20s, and I didn't know any better because I didn't have anybody to tell me what I was doing wrong, what I was doing right, I would do things like this. I wouldn't be taking them to Michelin star restaurants, but I would definitely spend money thinking that's just what you do because, hey, you want to impress the girl and do all these things, and then she'll see that you're just so nice and willing to do these things that she'll like you and fall in love with you and blah, blah, blah. Doesn't work that way. But I've made these mistakes, and I learned. Also, I know women that have admitted doing this. I know women that I'm acquainted with that openly admitted that when they were between boyfriends, they didn't want to be home on a Saturday night or a Friday night, so they would go out with guys that they had no interest in just so they could get out. Some did it for the food, others did it because they didn't want to be stuck at home. So it happens. This is why I advise you guys, and I know I've done at least one video where kind of like this, an article like this, and I've mentioned it before. One drink. That's it. First date, one drink. Meet up for a drink. And if the girl doesn't like that, if she tries to persuade you to take her to some place, what does that tell you? Okay? In some cases, maybe she's hoping to get some food, thinking that's what she's used to. But if she really presses you on this, if she tries to change your mind, it ain't about you. It ain't about getting to know you. Because guess what, guys? We're a prize too, It ain't just them. If she's not going to go along with it, then that tells you everything you need to know. And you decline the offer and move the hell on. Don't give her the time of day. But anyhow, guys, I'm going to get in this article. You're going to see what I'm talking about through these stories. And I'm going to wait till the end of this article to give you some tips on how best to handle this situation. Because I know I've got a lot of new guys to this channel all the time that may have not seen my videos before about this. And it can definitely help you out. Because a lot of guys get sucked into this and learn the hard way. And I'm trying to help you avoid that. Okay, so starts off saying, when Olivia Balsinger first moved to New York after graduating college in 2014, she wanted to experience Manhattan, Sex in the City lifestyle. Like many millennials working in entry-level office gigs, however, she was limited by a shoestring budget. Girl moves to the city. She's been watching her Sex in the City for all these years in the stupid movies and wants to have the Carrie Bradshaw lifestyle. Yes, I know that name. Okay, I've had girlfriends and understand this. But she doesn't have a lot of money, but there's a way that she can live that lifestyle, using guys. And by the way, that show, that impacted a generation of women to be fabulous and think they want to live that lifestyle and entitled to it. It's amazing. She's quoted as saying, "I was in a job that barely paid my rent." Balsinger, now 24 and living in the East Village, tells the Post. 24 years old, she's in her prime. "Going to nice restaurants was out of the question. I barely had enough money to go to a nice grocery store," she says. Rather than scrape by on bargain rice and beans, Balsinger decided to seriously try a friend's humorous suggestion. Meet guys on Tinder for the sole purpose of scoring free meals. Soon, Balsinger was meeting men up to twice a week for nourishment-driven dates at pricey bars and restaurants such as The Roof at Park South in Kips Bay. I don't live in New York. I don't know New York too well, so I don't know what this place is, but maybe you New Yorkers might recognize some of these places they mention in this article. She's quoted as saying, "You want to enjoy the city, but you don't really want to waste 2 hours of your paycheck on eating out," she says. So it's pretty easy to kind of just say yes if someone's offering to take you out. How nice. And by the way, these same women that will go out with a guy, let him spend all this money, let him think that she's into him, and then never return his calls, ghost his texts. These are the same women that get mad when they hook up with a guy and they willingly do so and enjoy every minute of it. And then guess what? They get mad when this guy's a player and he doesn't return their texts, return their calls, and they're the ones that cry about it and bitch about it and write articles like this about it. I did one last week. Isn't that interesting? But we're the bad guys if we talk about this subject. We're the bad guys that say, only take them for one drink because we know their tricks. Isn't that interesting? She recalls one evening when a 30-something European man squirreled her into a celeb-studded seafood spot catch in the meatpacking district, where she dishes such as truffle sashimi cost $29. This article's from 2017, so things will probably cost a little bit more money. Balsinger admits she had zero attraction to her date. Zero attraction. Isn't that low? Just going out with the guy to get the food. Letting him spend all this money, but not giving a shit. And in this article, you're going to see, guys, some of the justification that is used to do this. It's terrible. She chose him merely because he seemed successful and lonely. Two factors suggesting he'd be happy to pay for her company. Who she thinks she is, the Queen of fucking England? I mean, is she a supermodel? I don't know what she looks like, but it's amazing. And earlier when they said that she does it up to 2 times a week, shit, she's probably doing that 5 days a week. Go there, order all this food, get a doggy bag, take it back home. She's got food for lunch and breakfast or whatever. I can only imagine what the cost was. Probably like a month of pay from my job. She says the 5-course meal she savored that night. 5-course meal. Wouldn't it be better if this guy took her for a drink? He'd find out real quick if she was into him or not. Or at least in that she would have turned him down immediately and he wouldn't have wasted his time or money. Or just he got to know right then and there with that one drink she wasn't interested in. When the bill came, she coyly fumbled for her clutch in a feigned attempt to pay for her half of the meal. As expected, her date swept in and took care of the tab. It's a good thing. If I had been forced to pay, I probably wouldn't have been able to eat for weeks afterwards, Balsinger said. Oh yes, that's a very good thing. She and her date never saw each other again. Big fucking surprise. With the rise of dating apps, it's never been easier to order up a foodie call. According to millennial survey app Wing, in a survey exclusive to the Post, 44% of young women have swiped right on a date because why not? It's a free meal. Even if they weren't attracted to the person. For singles stuck with the tab, the economic toll is considerable. On average, New Yorkers shell out $2,069 a year on dates according to a 2016 Match survey. Now obviously before coronavirus hit the world, let's just say for the year 2019, that number would have been obviously higher. Even celebrities have partaken in the practice. Yvonne Urgi, star of HBO's Insecure, told the Los Angeles Times in July that she regularly dated for free food before getting her big break. I used to do foodie calls. I know it's bad, she told the paper. A foodie call is when you're not necessarily interested in the guy, but you're also very interested in eating that night, and times are hard. She was quick to clarify that the transactions were one-sided. It's very different from a booty call because it really just ends after dinner, the actress said. Balsinger also follows this practice. Balsinger is the girl in the beginning. Singles like Andrea, a 35-year-old marketing coordinator and foodie call enthusiast, says her targets understand the deal. Yeah, sure. We both play this game. I act coy and you woo me and spend money on me. The Cobble Hill resident, who didn't want to disclose her last name for professional reasons, tells the Post, listen to this, women make 75 cents to a man's dollar. And until the wage gap stabilizes, it's more than fair game for guys to pay. Bullshit. That has been proven to be bullshit. We all know it's bullshit. But it's definitely a convenient thing to use to justify bad behavior. Rude, disrespectful behavior. I guarantee you, guys, that if you had certain guys out there that were just extremely good-looking guys, extremely charming, can easily get women, and they went out and had the woman pay for them, and they never called them, I guarantee you that you'd have these same women, they'd be raising holy hell about this. I remember within the last year, I don't know when it was exactly, within the last year, there was this story that came out in Boston where this guy was he'd go out with all these women and get the women to pay the bills, and then he would just bail. Okay, he'd eat the food, and I think it was that they thought he was at least going to pay half, but then he'd bail, and they didn't pay him the bill. And then they're basically trying to catch this guy because all these women were on there and they were being interviewed about bitching about it, being taken advantage of. Can you imagine that? Do you think they would do that for a guy talking about women that pull the same thing with guys in a manner of speaking? No way. But if this guy, because he was he was enjoying the meals and then he'd bail at the end and not pay for part of the bill or whatever it is, the women are up and raising holy hell over this. It's amazing, the double standard here. Andrea says she goes on 3 foodie calls a week. Her favorite spots are Dream Hotel downtown as well as Catch. It's not just single women going on subsidized dinner dates. Alex Blinn, a 26-year-old publicist, has gone on dates with gentlemen who seem likely to handle the check. Obviously, the guy's gay. There are a lot of places to eat, but my budget doesn't always allow me to try them, says Blinn, who lives in Park Slope. A great way to supplement my budget is to go on a first date even if I'm not personally feeling it. One man he met at the bar offered to take him to Porterhouse, an upscale steakhouse in Columbus Circle where a slab of New York strip can set dinners back $60. Shit, I've been to places with more expensive steaks than that in Boston. But I'm not paying for women to have this steak. This is when I'm out with my buddies or whatever. It was very expensive, Blinn says. I'm glad I didn't have to pay for it. I'm sure he is glad. Blinn's cost-conscious dating habit had occasionally led to something more. In 2015, a guy he met at the club took him to Little Park, a Tony restaurant that serves $25 trout inside the Smythe Hotel in Tribeca. Blinn was smitten, and the two were together for almost a year. Okay, well, in that situation, obviously he liked the guy that took him out, and they had something going. But that's different compared to the other women. But this guy was still using other dudes that he could definitely see would fall for it. Karma's a bitch, guys. We all know this, okay? I wholeheartedly believe in karma. And it may not bite you in the ass today or tomorrow, but eventually one day, your actions, what you do, will come back and bite you in the ass in ways you could never see coming. So be aware of that. And these people that deliberately use and take advantage of, it will come back and bite them in the ass. Nevertheless, Balsinger, on firmer financial footing as a matchmaker at a dating service, Talkify, says she now prefers lower key dates and generally offers to pay her share of the bill. Oh, now she's making more money. Now I guess she's trying to give back, and so she's doing lower key dates, trying to pay her share of the bill. How nice. That's not to say she regrets her former tactics. Oh, okay. For a split second, I was maybe giving her a slight benefit of the doubt. I didn't read this whole article. New York is its own ball game. There is an impress factor that guys think they have to live up to, Balsinger says. They want to talk to a pretty girl. Girls are offering their time and conversation. Oh, give me a break. Now, here's the thing. For guys out there that are watching this, or any guys that watch this later on down the road, in this day and age, with the knowledge that is out there, and I'm doing my part to spread this, as well as other channels and other guys that write books, if you are boneheaded enough to go out there and spend all this money on a woman on a first date who, let's just say you met on a dating app you've never really talked to before, and taking her to these fancy restaurants or Michelin star restaurants and spending all this money on alcohol and food and taking her to a show or something like that, the first time when she's done nothing to earn that, you deserve what you get. You're out of your fucking mind, okay? You're crazy, okay? This is why I say one drink. And I'm about to finish the article. I'm going to really open up about this in a second, but I have to say that right then because I'm feeling it. For any singles worried about being used for a meal ticket, Balsinger says to suggest a low-cost date such as hanging out in Central Park and observing how matches react. See? Right there. What I tell you. Offer something low cost, like one drink, and seeing how they react. She says, if your match, obviously some of you met online or on dating app or whatever, if your match says no to simple activity, that's a red flag. She says, some of my best dates have involved a bottle of wine from Dwayne Reed. In other words, A very simple, low-cost date. Some of her best dates, actually where she liked the guy, bottle of wine, no big deal, going out in the park, hanging out, bottle of wine's like drink and a half, maybe 2 glasses per person, depending how big your glasses of wine are. That's it. So, listen to this article, guys. Do not do that, okay? If you're in the habit of doing that because you don't know any better, or you're young, or you see this on television, or your friends that have bad experience with women do this too, don't do that. No more, okay? If you've done it before, fine. You fucked up, but you didn't know any better. Going forward, guys, because plenty of you guys that watch me do dating and relationships and all that, 1 drink. You ask her out, you offer to take her to a low-cost place. I'm not talking a fancy restaurant, a bar at a fancy restaurant, some Michelin star restaurant or steakhouse. I'm talking just a casual place. It doesn't need to be some shithole dive bar where they have biker gangs go into or gangbangers and they're doing drug deals in the bathroom. Just a casual, no big deal, low-cost place. Meet up for 1 drink. Suggest this. If she turns you down, just like the woman says in the thing I just read, that tells you everything you need to know. Okay? Move on. Find somebody else because you want somebody to go out with you because they actually like you. Okay? Why waste your time? You doing this, you spending all this money says, hey, I'm desperate. I don't think I'm good enough as I am, who I am, so I got to do all this shit to impress you. And guess what happens to guys that try too hard? It doesn't work out for them, so don't do that. Okay? 1 drink. Now, because I know I'm going to get people who are going to ask me this question. They're going to say, what do you do if you get to the date and you both agree to the 1 drink, but she gets there anyway, and she tries to convince you to get something to eat? You simply say, I already ate. Done. Or, I only have time for 1 drink. Done. Okay? Because it's going to happen. She's going to try. Some women are going to try to do this. They may think, okay, I can't get him to take me here to the fancy steakhouse, but when we get there, I'll at least get some food out of it. No, you already ate, or you already ate, you're not hungry, or also just simply you only got time for a drink and that's that. Shows you're busy, shows you got a life. Now the guys may say, okay, what if you get there anyway, you're at the bar having your drink, or a cocktail table there having your drink, but she goes ahead and orders anyway, and now you're stuck with part of the bill or whatever, because you obviously don't want to say, hey woman, you pay for that, you order that, you're paying for it, because that's going to kill any chances you have right then and there, because obviously you're out with her because you like her and want something to go beyond this. You're not going to see her naked later that night or within a few dates if you're saying, hey, you're going to pay for whatever you order. Not going to work that way. What you do to avoid that is get there first, okay? Women are almost always late anyway, so you get to that bar first, order your drink ahead of time, and pay for it. Hand over cash and pay for it. If you're meeting, obviously, at nighttime, it's going to be busier. So when you order that glass of wine or that beer, whatever the hell you drink, hand your $10 bill over, your $20 bill, whatever it is, whatever drink you're ordering, get change from the bartender and take it. It's already paid for. And that way then she shows up and she orders the most expensive drink on the menu, or she starts ordering food, you've already paid your part. Then it's on her. It's not like the bartender can look at you to take care of the thing. And this is on the basis. This is on the basis for those of you that are worried that you're going to be taken advantage of. Because I'm telling you right now, not every woman you're going to go out with is going to be looking for a free meal, okay? There are some that do it. The article showed you examples. But it doesn't mean they all do. I'm making that clear. But for those of you that are concerned and worried you don't be taken advantage of, that's what you do. Get to the bar first, pay for the drink in cash, because if you give them the credit card, it can take them a while to get back to you. And the next thing you know, she shows up, orders her thing, and your card is over there where they keep the credit cards, and he puts it on your tab. Pay for it in cash. I'm not saying this because I'm a cheap ass. I'm saying this to help you guys if that's what you want. Now, another question you guys may ask is, hey, what if it's going really well, I'm having fun, I can tell she likes me, and I actually want to get some food. What do I do at that point? That point, it's on you. If you can tell without a shadow of a doubt that she likes you enough to the point that it's worth taking the risk to order another drink or maybe get some appetizers, go for it. Now, how can you tell these things? Generally, is if she is really into the conversation. If she's asking you a lot of questions about yourself, she's interested in you, she's not turning and looking at the good-looking bartender here or the good-looking waiter there, her eyes are on you, she's not pulling out her phone every minute, texting or reading messages, she's giving you her undivided attention, her body language communicates that she likes you. You know, if you're sitting there kind of facing each other, she's leaning in taking you in, so to speak, that's a good sign. If like her legs are crossed and pointing at you, that's a good sign. If she's laughing at your stupid jokes, and I don't want you to be a comedian, don't be goofy, but just you're saying some things that are funny and she's laughing, that's a good sign. If she's touching you, she's touching your leg, she's touching your elbow, she's touching your shoulder, all these are good signs. If she's doing all those things and having good eye contact and smiling and all that stuff you hear about in terms of body language, then at that point then, if you want to go ahead and get a second drink or maybe order a little food and see where things go for it. Otherwise, if you're not getting any of that, that's where one drink comes in and you can bail. When she's not interested in you, fine. It's a low cost amount of money you spend otherwise, but it's a lot better than going and taking her to a Michelin star restaurant, which some guys would do if they had the money, or even if they didn't have the money, spending all this money, and you never see her again, you never hear from her again. Okay, guys, one drink. Save yourself a whole lot of hassle. You're a prize. Okay, it isn't just her. I know they want to make things out that women are all the prize. Guess what? Guys are a prize too. And you got to start thinking that way. Okay? Let her earn that kind of meal by her obviously being into you and liking you and all that. And I wouldn't do any big meals or any fancy things that you may want to do until you slept with her. Okay? To know that she's in. All right? And then do things that you enjoy. If you like, at that point then, when you know she obviously likes you and you slept with her and that you like going to fancy steakhouses, at that point then, when you're obviously more serious, if you want to do that because it's what you enjoy and you're bringing her along for the company, that's a different ball game. Or if you like going to sporting events or shows or whatever it happens to be, let the girl earn that, okay? She hasn't earned it on the first date, shit, even on the second date. You work your way up. So, all right, guys, I've gone enough about that. I think I made it abundantly clear how to handle a situation. So if you guys are watching this, I don't want to hear anything else about you guys going and spending all this money on a first date and having them blow up in your face. At this point, knowing this, if you do it, it's your own damn fault. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know your experiences, what you did in situations like this, how you've learned the hard way, and what you do now. Share. Guys are going to read this. It will help them out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.